Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the Pips. Just been doing this for the last couple of days, been really enjoying it, and don't need to say anything else. Let's just get right into this. And we'll start off with the easy. Okay. So immediately always like to see this equals means that there has to be three of that number. There's only one five, there's three threes, and three zeros. So this has to be either the zero or the threes. But there also has to be a double of one of them. So we know that that's that. We know that this is that. We know this has to be less than 3, and the only way it can be less than 3 is like this. Okay. Now we need two. What are the two that are left together? Threes and fours. So we know that in some way this has to be greater than 3. So let's try this. I would do this, and this would do that, and that should just about do it. Very nice. All right, let's move on to the medium. A lot of equals. We can. We can't quite do that yet, actually. Wow, I mean, this is just so many equals. Yeah, so we know in this one, there's going to have to be a double. And the only double is the twos. So let's just that either goes there or here. So let's start here. If that goes there, this oh boy, okay. But if this is our orientation, oh, I didn't notice this. I did not notice this. So actually both of these are going to require a double because it would either go like this or that. So let's just go off of this for now. This would then require that, right? And then this would have to be another 6, which would have to be a 6 with a 1. Doesn't exist. And so now we're going to try to move this over like that, which would then require a 2 and a 1, which also doesn't exist. So we're going to go here. Oh, wait. Which would require a 0 and a 1, which doesn't exist. Okay, interesting. Let me think about how I'm thinking about this wrong. Hmm. There's no 0 and 1. There's no 1 and 2. So this has to go up against this no matter what. We know that. We just don't know if this is the 2 or the 1, or the 0, I mean. If it's the 0, this would have to look like, well, wrong. This would have to look like this. So we kind of know the orientation has to be like either this or this. So this would then have to be the other 2, which is, there it is. There it is. This is the way. So then that's the 3 and that's the 1. Okay. Now this has to be the other 0, making this the other 6, making this the other 4. Of course, they're all facing the wrong way. And not too bad. 2 minutes. All right. On to the hard. Okay. Okay. Where to start? These three. No. This is okay. This having to be 12 is a very large number. Man, this is actually very tough to even see where to start. Okay. So we see a 6 has to go right here. And so it either has to be this one or this one. There's only two sixes. So this is where we're gonna go off of. If this is the 5, this has to be a 1 2. The only way that this would, or a 1 0. What am I saying? This would have to be a 1 0. Yes. So that doesn't exist, which means this couldn't be this either, which means the only way this one could work is like this. Okay. If this is the 5, that means another 5 cannot go in here. Man, that's tough to figure out now. That is tough to figure out now. What's the lowest? I mean, I'm trying to see how many orientations there are to get 3. It seems like there's only one. Several. What am I talking about? Wow. Okay, so we know this is sideways. Okay, so we know this is facing upwards. And so this is not going to be a solo square adding up to 8. So what can add up to 8? 4 and 4, obviously. And so if it's 4 and 4, this has to be at least 2 no matter what to go here. But then its counterpart has to be very low as well. So like, okay, like this could work right here. So like this right here, and then this would have to add up to 3. Doesn't exist. Okay, so what about this? What about the 4 and the 1? Requiring this to add up to 2, which there's 2 ways that can happen, so we're going to leave that alone for a second. Now, this would have to be the other 4, which this could work, because then this would just be double 0. And these would add up to 6. Now, this has to add up to 3, and that can either be like that or like that. So, challenging. This has to be a non-double, non-5. There's just so many ways that this can be a 2. But with our numbers we have left over, how do we get to 12, right? So we have 8 plus 5 is too big. 6 plus 5 is too small. The 5 would have to be in it no matter what. It'd be like... Maybe this 11 is what we really should be looking at, because this has to be a 5 and a 6. There's no other combination. Maybe that's what I've been missing. That's exactly what I've been missing. Now we know that... So, okay, so that's the whole point of this, is that we know 1, 6 has to go right there. And this could be this. So let's do this first. It wouldn't matter which way it's facing. We know, okay, we know both the 6s have to go here and here. We know that. And this one doesn't. So this one, but this one in particular doesn't matter which way it faces, but like it could do this. It still could, because then that would just be, this would just be another 5. This is very tough. Very, very, very tough. I'm trying to see all of the ways this works. So if it's the 8, the other, so if this is the 4, right? 8, this has to be another 4. We really need to figure out what 2. Man, this one's very challenging to even get your feet on the ground with. Okay, what I want to test out first is if this isn't this. So if this isn't this, we know the 6 has to go in this, and we know a 5 has to go in it. And we know it won't be able to be this one. So, okay, it would force this to be the 5 that's in it. 1, 11. So there's just several ways this can go. Can this do this? Let's figure this out first. Can this work? So this would have to then be 8, which is only one orientation of. So there's this, and this would work. This would then be left over. Okay, and so now we have to kind of work through this, and the only way this would be able to face would be this. So if this is here, the only way it can face is like this, because there is no 1, 0 for the 5 to add up to 6. Yeah, okay, that's true. I just wanted to make sure. So if this is this is the only way it can face. I probably already established that, but whatever. This could work, because then we could 0 it, make that a 4. Make this the 4 and the 1. One of the rare pairs left that have to go there, or one of the rare non-pairs left. This has to be 2. It naturally makes sense to be the 2 pair. This has to add up to this, there, and there. Really? Okay, so what didn't work here? What did I do wrong? Okay, we put 2 2s in it. Okay. That's fine. Is that fine? Is that fine? Hang on. Ooh, put 2 2s in this. Okay. Okay, so wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute. So this has to have one of every number in it. I didn't even realize that. Oh, no, because it can have a 0. Because that can have a 0. And so we know this can't have a 6 in it. So this has to have 0, 1, 2, 3. So the one that it's missing is a 4. And so we have to find a way to make a 4 be able to go in this. Okay. This has me rethinking the whole entire thing right now, which is very unfortunate. It shouldn't mess up everything. So we would just do this one instead, giving us the 4. 4, 3, 2. This would still all work. And now the only thing we're missing is the 5, which we can then grab and borrow from here. Throw that there. Utilize this 5 instead. No. Hold up. Now that would change the way this would work. This would then have to be a 4 again, though. That would then have to be a 4 again. True. Hmm. We have to have a 5 in here no matter what, and it can't be the 5. So this 5 has to go into this. It absolutely has to. What else can I do? Okay, I want to. This feels dumb, but I want to try this again, like this. Okay, and then I'm established that I need the 4. Okay, so I would do like something like this. Really trying to think here because there's an answer that I'm just completely being blindsided by finding. This is where I think the problem is lying right now. But how do I fix it? How do I fix it? Because this would then have to be 4 on the 4, which just would then not work because then this requires a 5. But this 5. Wait, well, in this hypothetical, the 5 would no longer need to be in there. It'd be the 4 yet again. Stupid. I'm really trying to think here. Really trying to think here. I just can't make this work. Yeah, I just can't make this work. I have kind of came to the conclusion that this is the 2, like here or here. Man, this is really tough. I'm just trying to see the answer. This has to have a 4 in it. There's not a 1-3. I think this 3. No, wait a minute. But if we think this 3-2 is in it, then this would not be able. If I think this 3-2 is in it, which I do, then the natural thought would be that the 2-4 is what has to be in this. And then what are we missing from this? 5, 2, 3, 4. We're missing the 0, obviously the 6, but the 0 and the 1. And there isn't one that's 0 and 1, so it wouldn't be able to coordinate like this. It would have to go like this. And then the only thing left would be this and that, like that. And that would give us 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be that. How do we get this to add up to then? This is the problem now. Because then this would go here. But then this ruins everything. I mean to do that. Yet again, we know if this goes here, it faces upwards. That was the 4. Oh man, this one's so tough. 4, 4, 4. It's like. But I think the point I'm trying to get at is that if this 11-5 doesn't go like this has to be right because the 5 has to go in here somehow. And so if I can't make this work, then it won't work. And I'm seeing that. Do any of the other ones add up to 8? No, they don't. So no matter what, if this 6 is the correct 6, it's going to have to face up or sideways, which will force this to be the 4 pair no matter what, which will then force this to be the 5, which would leave everything here. Okay. Everything left here, I don't have enough pips in this right now. how do I how do I just make them appear? I've even like, made the smallest numbers out of it. This has to add up to 3. This has to add up to 8. And this has to add up to 6. Okay. This is the other way this could go. Okay, I wasn't really meant to be the last guess. So this could go like this, which would then make all of this work. Yeah, and then that's the 4. That's not, don't, I'm glad it's not telling me. It told me. That has to be the 2. Duh. Okay, but can't now. Okay, this is the, let's just, we're just moving everything around right now. There's the 0. So I would need the 0 to be a 2 instead. Wow. Wow, man. This is crazy. Makes me think that this... I'm overloaded on zeros. Okay. The conclusion is sad, awful, angering, all of the above. But the answer to all of this is going to become that this has to be this. Which will mean that it has to face that way. This will then go here, either like this or like that. We don't know yet. This is not locked in, but we don't know yet. So this has to then add up to 12. Which, with wasting the least amount of pips, like we're just killing this 0, which is the goal. We then need to put a 2 here. And it would feel like the smartest way, again, it might not be right, but the smartest way to utilize the 2 would be to use the double 2. Which would then require, what would it require? What's left that adds up to 8? We have a 5 and a 3 and a 4 and a 4, and that's the only way this can work. And again, we don't know which way this faces. This is in complete limbo. But with what we have left, we immediately know that no matter what, these two are going to be separate because they're going to have to be 2 separate dominoes. So this is going to have to go like this, which means this will have to go sideways, which means that this either has to face up or has to face sideways. So let's try sideways first. But then this could still work. So let's just try this. So now this has to add up to 2, which has 2 ways of doing it. Okay, and then this will be forcing because the 1 and the 2 will be the only way to make this add up to 3. 5, 3, and the 4, 4 are still all there. But we see that it can't be... It could be either because they both put the 1 and the 2 in here. But then this can't be the 2. Means that... Yeah, but then this can't be the 2. But then this can't be the 2. So we just throw away? Maybe there's too many 2s? Maybe that's the answer. So obviously we need every number. Do we have one of every number? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, but if we need 2 of each number from this current position, we know that this can't be a 4, 4, which means it would automatically be the 5 and the 3. Okay. And we're out of 3s. It's interesting, so the 3 has to go in here. 3 has to go in here. And so no matter what, okay, hang on. But this could go this way now. We can now put this like this. And so then this would have to be, but we've established that 3 has to go in this. What am I talking about? Wait, no. But yeah, it can be the 4s. It can be the 4s in this case. It'll be 4, 4, which will require this to be. Come here. The 4, requiring this to be a 2, requiring this to be a 2. There's the 3. That's the only way to get the 3 in. 1, 1 can go here. Okay, hang on. Something's about to mess up now. Or not. Nice. That was very challenging to just coordinate this. I don't know what made it's just something about this shape and how many different ways the dominoes can go and really having to figure out. It feels like this was the very last like orientation of the 6 that I figured out, but either way, it's a fun game. It really makes you think and thanks for sticking around if you watch this whole thing. That'd be impressive. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks.